Hey, Queen, did you ever wonder why you constantly don't like the men you date? Kind of like your biggest issue is that you go on dates, but you just don't really like the men. Why is that? So let's talk about it. We're going to talk about like attracts like. We're also going to talk about polarity, which is opposites attract. How do these two ideas come together? Okay, so this video was requested by a lovely subscriber, Pato. So here you have it. So one of the biggest issues that you guys, in the community are reporting is that you don't like a lot of the men you date. Kind of like you do go on dates, but you just don't like them. So let's talk about a few things. We don't attract who we would like, what we want. We attract who we are, what we are. Like someone that is the same as us, someone in the same frequency. Okay? So let me talk about this example. There's a couple examples. There's a girl that I know that is chronically single. She's going to be 36 soon. She must be somewhere between 34 and 36. And she believes that the more entrepreneur, the more successful she becomes, she will then attract a man that is just as successful, that is an entrepreneur making a bunch of money. So her sort of end game is her train of thought, her rationale is, if I am that, then I will attract that. And guess what? She actually does attract a bunch of entrepreneurs, a bunch of rich men, very rich men. And she hangs out with these people because she's kind of like a networking like type of person, right? And you would imagine that by now, surrounded by so many rich men that are entrepreneurs, she'd be married to one of them by now. Well, no, guess why not? Because even though she is in the same frequency of being successful and this type of mindset and all of that, you do require polarity, that is, opposites attract, man and woman, for that to happen. Okay? For magic to happen, for sealing the deal and all of that, for him to fall in love with her. And you're like, well, what's the problem? The problem is that she is too masculine with men. She brings her masculinity to the table of dating. You as a woman to be badass and successful and achieve all your dreams, yeah, you need to be masculine, within your own self to achieve those things. But when you bring that to the table in dating and love and all that stuff, what happens is that you will repel the masculine. So this girl, she would need to not bring her masculinity to the table of dating. In her words, that would mean, oh, do I have to dim my sparkle? Do I have to minimize myself? Do I have to minimize my success? No, silly, no. You simply do not lead with that when you're with men for that purpose of relationships. Okay? That would be her case, her example. Now, there's there's a little dating coach, and I say little because she's like 25. There's a little dating coach who is obviously single. She's 25. This is another example. What she did is level up. Or did she? She leveled up her looks. She's very gorgeous, very good looking, extremely good looking, and very well dressed now. In fact, her selling point in her coaching is dressing better, which of course helps. And she lives in Florida, I think. And she claims that she goes out with these all high value men, rich men. Why isn't she getting a ring? She keeps saying that she's too picky. She's not attracting the one. Okay? So why is she not attracting the one? Okay? Because again, you attract what you are, but you need that polarity. Right? She keeps bringing to the conversation not only the fact that she has a level of success, but also she keeps talking about all these topics: feminine energy, high value men and women. Obviously, this is something you never talk about in a date. This is a huge freebie that I'm giving you. You never talk about that with men, the stuff like that. Okay? If you want to know why, we can talk more about it in my, one-on-one practice. But what's her problem really? When she comes and talks about all these things, feminine energy, like here between you and me, like girls, we can talk about that. But with men in a date, no. When she has a need to talk about what she is, she's so high value, she's all these things. In Spanish, there's a saying that says, tell me what you're bragging about, and I'll tell you exactly what you're lacking. So this woman is not it. She thinks that by looking a certain way, dressing a certain way, then she is it. Then she is the high value. Well, if you were that, you would not have the need to, yap about it on a date. So she is not that even. She's not even that. Because the woman that is the reciprocal of a successful entrepreneur is a woman who is there to receive that. The woman who is there to receive that simply receives it without having to say, well, then I give you this. Then I bring this other material or success to the table. So I know it's a bit like kind of nuanced, kind of a little blurry, if you will. But oftentimes you think that you've leveled up on that you've actually leveled up, but inside you're still that same person. Like I was talking to a client and she brought up this story about this woman who grew up in kind of like not poverty, but a non-affluent background, then she married a millionaire. But her behaviors were not of that woman who marries a millionaire. Long story short, she ended up without the guy and went back to her dating broke men ways. I have a client of mine that she did score, like we did get her to marry her millionaire that she wanted. And this was he's a millionaire, his parents are millionaires, he is a millionaire himself. But and this guy used to be a full provider for his ex-wife. Just out of breath, is just a pregnancy. And with her, she was zero provider. Zero. Even though he's millionaire. He's a full-blown millionaire. Why? Because you can take the girl out of poverty, but you can't take poverty out of the girl if you don't do that inner work. So what are the things inside of you that in the very bottom of your heart, in the very bottom of yourself, that you need to change? Example, say you're leveling up, like doing all these things, but you're still attracted to unavailable men, or just the same type of pattern that you had. So you need, like, you are able to attract what you are, but there also needs to be that sexual polarity, okay? Which is there has to be feminine and masculine. There's also polarity that is non-sexual, right? Which is things like, for example, someone is artistic and the other one is very analytic, aka someone is very left brain, someone is very right brain, aka someone has a more masculine, someone has a more feminine brain. This could happen in friendship, this can happen within a relationship as well. Okay, the bottom line is, if you want to attract someone that you want, are you that yourself? Like, let's talk about another example quickly. Women who like very dominant men, very kind of like an extreme idea of masculinity. He's very dominant, he's very assertive, he's very authoritarian, even controlling, if you will. These are the type of women that are lacking that. Have you ever heard that you're attracted to someone that has a quality that you don't have? This is kind of it. It's kind of like you want someone that you're not, but it just doesn't happen because you're not it. So what I'm talking about really is a woman that wants to be rescued by a man. Okay? Because she's so maybe wishy-washy herself. She's so fragile. She's so, what's the word? Insecure, that she's so drawn to this man that is so secure and so strong. So, of course, as a woman, you want somebody you respect, someone that is masculine, right? You would have to be the feminine of that. And being the feminine doesn't mean that you're not confident, that you're not strong, that you're not all of these things, right? Because for you to attract a man that is all these items that we just mentioned, you would also have to be that yourself. See, same frequency. For the polarity to happen, you would need to accept his leadership and follow him because you respect him. That would be the polarity aspect of it. Okay? So be it. Become it. So a lot of the women that want the rich man are the women who are constantly poor. They want to be rescued. And guess what? These are the women that have hardest issues getting that man. But the women that are successful themselves, they can, if only they know how to like work the polarity aspect, which is to receive and be on the feminine side. Okay? So let me know if this resonates. Let me know if you've experienced any of this. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye now.